I come to you from the United Kingdom with a message of hope and a message of optimism. It's a message that says if the little people, if the real people, if the ordinary decent people are prepared to stand up and fight for what they believe in, we can overcome the big banks. We can overcome the multinationals.
All right, you saw it. Nigel Farage last night with Donald Trump on stage. Mr. Farage was on this show earlier today. Roll some of that tape.
And what I was saying to Trump supporters last night is whatever gets said in the next 73 days in this campaign, even if they tell you that McDonnell can't win, don't believe them, because what we saw was a deliberate attempt to fiddle the figures. What we were sold was a complete pack of scaremongering lies. It was called Project Fear. And I said to the audience last night, you will hear the same thing. You will hear, if Trump wins, we'll play into the hands of President Putin, we'll bring the world closer to war, and there'll be terrible economic ruin come to America.
I've got to tell you, he was very well received in Mississippi last night and again this morning on our show. Come on in, Nile Gardiner, former advisor to Margaret Thatcher. All right, Niall, welcome back to the programme. Let's have another British accent, shall we? Why not? Come on in. All right, now, look, I'm saying that there are parallels between the Brexit vote there and the vote here in November. Anti-establishment vote there, an anti-establishment candidate here in the United States. Does the parallel hold? Are you with it?
Well, of course, there are some parallels between the US and UK situations, but also significant differences as well. And I think that, we have to be careful drawing too many comparisons between, the Brexit campaign and what's going on in the United States today. But certainly, without a doubt, some of the issues are the same. You also have, I think, in the United Kingdom, and across Europe, a growing rejection, I think, of the sort of political establishment. You did see that with Brexit. You've also seen the issue of border control, controlling your own borders, front and centre in the political debate in the UK. But also, I think, you do have some significant differences. If you look at the Brexit campaign, for example, there was a very strong focus upon free trade. It was a very optimistic message about an outward-looking Great Britain that would once again be a thriving, free trading power globally. Also, in Great Britain, sovereignty was front and centre in the debate. The desire of the British people to retake control of their own destiny. And this was really at the very heart of Brexit, freeing Britain from the shackles of the big government bureaucratic elites in Brussels. And so I think that there are some distinctly sort of British issues involved in Brexit, but also, as you say, there are some parallels as well. And without a doubt, on both sides of the Atlantic, of course, you do see widespread disillusionment with political elites. Yeah. And you saw that reflected in the Brexit vote.
He was very popular last night. He spoke in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, and before he went on the stage, I don't think anybody knew him. But by the time he'd finished, he'd wowed that crowd. He really took them. They loved the guy. I mean, does that mean anything?
Well, Nigel Farage, of course, is a very charismatic figure. He's a very entertaining figure. And to give Farage his due, I think it was the pressure that was implemented by the UK Independence Party, which resulted in David Cameron's decision to hold the Brexit referendum. Without the pressure from Farage and his party, you wouldn't have seen a referendum. Although, having said that, during the actual Brexit campaign, Farage was one of several key figures campaigning for a British exit. I would say, though, that the very heart of the Brexit campaign, the Vote Leave campaign, that was a campaign that was overwhelmingly dominated by British Conservatives who rebelled against David Cameron. And their message was, let's retake the United Kingdom from the European Union. And that was a message that resonated very widely, of course, with Conservative supporters, with UK Independence Party supporters, but also a significant number of Labour Party supporters, a lot of blue-collar voters also went for Brexit as well, which is a very interesting development.
So Nile Gardiner says that the parallel doesn't quite hold with such strength here in the United States. Take your point, Niall. By the way, I invited him to stay in America and get a green card. He said he'd think about it. All right. Niall, thank you very much. We'll see you again soon, Niall. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Stuart.